shake the town. We're racing to the fire, burning bright with the grit of brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. From the first green flag to the final lap, we push the limits, no turning back. With the wind at our backs and the sun in our eyes, GoatLocker Racing, we'll claim the prize. We're racing to the fire, burning bright with the grit of the brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Our way on the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior as we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright with the grit of the brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. We got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. But we wear them proud to show where we've been, but we wear them proud for glory's sake. We're the heart of the storm where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. We're racing through the fire, burning bright with the grit of the brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Yeah, for glory's sake. In the heart of the storm we find our way. On the edge of the wild we won't betray. Every life ever turned to do or die. With the spirit of warriors the game. In the heart of the storm we found our way. On the edge of the way, on the edge of the wild we won't betray. In the heart of the storm we find our way. On the edge of the wild we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior as we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright with the grit of the brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We're GLR for glory's sake. We're GLR for glory's sake. We're the outlaws on the asphalt, running wild, we'll never fall. In the shadows where the strong survive, GoatLocker Racing, we come alive. We're brothers and sisters bound by the code. In the heat of the battle, we lighten the load. From the dirt to the track, we stand our ground. With a roar like thunder, we shake the town. We're racing through the fire, burning bright with the grit of the brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. From the first green flag to the final lap, we push the limits, no turning back. With the wind at our backs and the sun in our eyes, GoatLocker Racing, we'll claim the prize. We're racing through the fire, burning bright with the grit of the brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Our way on the edge of the wild we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior as we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright with the grit of the brave. We fight the night, no chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. We got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. But we wear them proud to show where we've been, but we wear them proud for glory's sake. With a heart
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Hello and welcome from the Lady in Black. Darlington is the site of the final race of the regular season for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen GoatLocker Racing Series. 10 races in the regular season, 5 playoff races. It all comes down to this tonight. Lots of excitement here. This 1.333 repeating mile track. It's egg-shaped. It's a lot of fun to drive at. Some of the best get it done here. I'm Dylan Coyle, by the way, joined alongside Jeremy Briggs. And, you know, I'm just excited, right? We've seen all of these drivers fight in, week out, to try and make the playoffs. And now it's you know, put up or shut up time, Jeremy.
Yes, sir. It's been a great season to sit here and follow this all season long. These drivers have been putting on some awesome racing throughout the season. It's been great to follow. It's great to be alongside you here tonight. Excited for another great night of GoatLocker Racing.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. Get a few tidbits about the track. Opened in 1950. It was known as the first NASCAR super speedway track. Obviously, it's changed a little bit what we consider a super speedway or not in modern stock car racing. 1.366 miles, I should say. So 1.33 repeating a little bit ago. That's Nashville Super Speedway. Talking about super speedway racetracks. But the corners are different. They're asymmetrical. Lots of fun for that. Of course, though, it is that last race before making it into some playoff racing. 12 drivers make it into the playoffs. We go 2 races in the round of 12, 2 races in the round of 8, and then the championship finale. A lot of drivers already have locked their way in. And if we're talking about, drivers that are pretty safe, Cunningham, Collins, Nekula, they're almost certainly okay as this race goes on. Obviously, things can get a little bit hairy if we have a new winner that is underneath that cut line. Nonetheless, multiple drivers are going to be vying for that final chance to win and get in. Take a look at the starting lineup. Jason Taylor in the 41 machine, 1 pole position, the only driver to put it in the 28-second range. George Joel will be starting alongside him. Jesse Nekula in P3 with Chance Taylor in 4th. Kendorian Davis in 5th and Patrick Adrabic in 6th alongside J.J. Moore, Timothy Wilms, Logan Sturgeon, and Ryan Pendleton are your top 10, Jeremy.
Lucas Lyons, one of our drivers in the playoffs, right there in 11th, just outside the top 10. You got James Kaufman, the number 25 there in 12th. In 13th starting spot, you got the number 45 of Zach Engel, and in 14th, you've got the number 18 of Blake Edel. In the 15th starting position, you got Daniel Cunningham looking to lock himself in tonight, and behind him, trying to lock himself in tonight as well, is the number 81 of Jake Collins. 17th starting spot, you've got James Goshen. The 18th starting spot, you got Jesse Whittington. In the 19th starting spot, you got Joe Hobbs, you got Jacob Lanke running out your top 20. 21st, Sam Milliken, Timothy Stubblefield 22nd, Bobby Germain 23rd, and Doug Ellingson 24th.
Well, let's take a look at some of the race analysis in the Next Gen machines. 100 laps of racing here. No stages, nothing to think about with that. 3 tire changes allowed, no fast repairs. So if you wreck it on lap 1, you're done. Some series in GLR competition do have that 1 fast repair. Not here. 100% fuel tanks. So we do expect there to only be 1 stop. Maybe some drivers roll the dice and go for 2 stops. We'll see as the pace car goes down pit road. 24 cars getting ready to go here at the track. Too tough to tame. Get those bulbs out, the flashlights, the cameras, they're going, and we're underway here. Green flag as they storm into 1.
A couple of drivers already getting that Darlington stripe as they barrel down through turns 2. That really roller coaster-like turn. We got one turned almost all the way around to 37. It's spun here early on.
Green still out.
Not coming out, so we're going to stay green.
Surprising there that the yellow did not come out. It's still under green flag conditions as we complete lap 1 here at Darlington, as 23 drivers have taken the start of this race. That was Jacob Lenke having those problems there in the wiggle, coming out of turn number 2. Hard hit to the inside for the 14 of Chance Taylor. The yellow flag does come out for him. That is a race-ending collision for Taylor, and an awful way to start this one for him.
Another incident right there on the backstretch here early on. Looks like that driver's already made the tow. 3 laps into this event. Caution number 1. Here we go for the replay.
So we'll see it in just a few moments how it happened. It was just him getting loose, at least that's what I thought it was. Don't think there was any help, any contact from in behind. And, there might have been, no, he just lost it. Lost it. These tires are not necessarily up to temperature yet. This coming out of turn 2, it's a very weird 2 corners, 1 and 2, because you almost throttle it trying to hit an early apex in one, you coast up near the wall at around the exit of one into two. You take your foot off the throttle a little bit. You try and come back down to apex in turn two. And then you can get a little bit light coming back onto that lone backstretch. I'll certainly tell you this: that wreck was was just a hard hit into that inside wall.
Like you said, you just get light. It's like a roller coaster. If you ever go the whoop-de-woos and you go up that whoop, and you're coming back down, it gets you this light. The car gets upset, especially these next-gen cars. They definitely have a different feel to them. Sometimes once they start spinning out, you just can't catch them with those low-profile tires and the different type of steering in these cars. And along with the independent suspension, it does make it a challenge, as we're now going to be under caution still here. I believe we might begin the one to go next time by. We'll check that. We'll be under lap number 5. Still up front, Jason Taylor, George Jewell, Jesse Necula, Patrick Drabeck, and Condorian Davis. Your top 5, Logan Sturgeon. There in 6th, JJ Moore, Lucas Lyons, Ryan Pelton, and James Kaufman, rounding out your top 10.
Let's talk a little bit real quick about the Jam Pole Award. Jam Printing and Promotions. Jason Taylor, of course, won pole position, so he won the final regular season Jam Pole Award. Jam Printing and Promotions is from Plainfield, Indiana. They're local, veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. And since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with GoatLocker Racing since the very beginning and provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company. Bit of a quickie caution right here as we're going to go back to green flag racing on lap 6. 2 incidents in the early going. One of them brought out that yellow flag. You can see the racing under the lights. It's not really going to change too much with temperature. So theoretically, once they get up to temp, they should be good to go for the course of a run, Jeremy.
Absolutely. As that pace car makes that left-hand turn, we'll be getting ready to come back to the green.
Long stretch out of turn 4 before we cross the stripe to take green flag once again, but it's back out. Taylor leads the way, a bit more congested right in behind him. Necula alongside Jewell as they go into turn 1. Necula takes that position away, and Jewell and Davis to follow, but look at that slide. Has to be careful here. Davis got very tight as he kind of clipped the inside apron there on 1 and 2. It almost caused a massive collision.
Drabeck right there in the 07, trying to have a good points now. He's got to finish this race. He's right there on that cut line. Drabeck cannot afford to have a bad night. Started 6th, running 6th. Let's see if he can finish even better than that as he tries to crack himself in the top 5.
Trying to just stop going side by side. You're going to lose so much time as that just happened right there. The 54 trying to get by Logan Sturgeon in the 26. They still remain side by side. The 23 machine of Pendleton in behind as well. You lose so much time when you go side by side at Darlington. It's a very one groove style racetrack.
Not only is it a one-groove racetrack, you get those cars side by side, you get all that air deficiency. One car dumping air on the other car, and you're just kind of stalling each other out, and nobody's going anywhere. And those cars behind you just have that big hole punched in the air. But like you said, side by side here at Darlington, you don't want to do it for long because these corners are extremely tight. It's like a one-lane roller coaster.
One-lane roller coaster is for sure the way to describe it, as that 91 machine of Cunningham tries to make it back up through the field. A ghost-looking scheme. You haven't seen many real-world ghost sponsorships. Pretty cool-looking scheme right there. I'm impartial to the Swedish Fish one as the Culver's 45 also of angle. It's a nice looking scheme here as we go back to this battle just outside the top 5 positions, or inside the top 5, as once again side by side goes Davis and Pendleton. Oh, they make some contact. Davis starting to get shuffled backwards.
Pendleton in that Cruisin Classics machines finds himself one more position to the good. He's 3 spots up from where he started. Kadorian Davis is -3 on him.
Looking from just behind Pendleton's angle as he gets a better run than Davis. Davis starting to slide back, and it's hard to say starting because it has been happening since the start of this race. Of the top 13 drivers, only 2 drivers have lost positions from where they started. One of them being George Jewell back in 3rd. He was 2nd to start off with. Kendorian Davis started in 5th. Now he is in 8th as we're about to turn onto lap 12 of this 100-lap race. It should go by fairly quickly. You say that, of course, and on the other hand, we did have the race at Gateway that had many of incidents in the early stages and the late stages of that race. But Taylor still continues to lead. Nekula and Jewell, though, holding him very accountable here and starting to put up a fight.
Fight is right. We got a 3-car breakaway at the front of the field. Taylor, Nekula, and Jewell, like you said, they're just kind of in their own zone. Patrick Drabeck is only a 2.5 back. It is starting to close. We'll see how that pans out here. We're just early into this run. We're 13 laps in. We got a lot of racing left to go. He's right on board here with the number 36.
That 36 machine, we also have that camera angle from inside the cockpit for George Jewell. You can see that concentration on his face, blinking a lot. Usually you see drivers who don't want to even have a fraction of a second where they're blinking while also driving, and you'll sometimes see that concentration kind of showcase itself with almost never blinking whatsoever. As once again, this challenge from Nekula, it's right there. Taylor doing a good job of holding him off. You almost wonder if there's a bit of tire saving from Taylor up front, but Nekula, what a solid job he's doing. He's got to run down into turn 1, thinks about making a move, can't do it yet. You've got to pick your choice, pick your corner, pick your lap, and pick your spot to make the move, and he's got a big run. Will he get that run? I think he scraped the wall, though, on the exit of 2.
Watching this number 51 machine, he has been up towards the front the last few weeks, definitely found his groove, found the rhythm. The championship challenge is about to go underway. No better time to find some momentum going into the championship. The final race of the regular season, getting ready to go for that championship.
Nekula had a run right there, but lost around the 10th when he looked to make that move. We'll rejoin that in a little bit. Battle for 14th going on as we see Blake Edel, of course, won the race last week. He is fighting alongside James Goshen right here. James Kaufman is a little bit more up the road. That Culver's 45 machine driven by Zach Engel at the moment.
Right now, these drivers are all pretty much finding a good groove, getting smooth laps in, trying to get as many laps as they can get in. As we look here at the number 48 machine of Lucas Lyons, he is in the 8th position. He's got the Jake Collins machine of the 81 Money Lines machine on his back bumper. These drivers just inside the top 10 and just inside the playoffs.
Oh, look at this. The 81 had a little look down the inside going into 1, but could not make it happen. A battle right now for 8th place. Lucas Lyons in that 48 machine, and of course Jake Collins. Lurking right in behind is Daniel Cunningham, up 5 spots in this race. Collins himself up 7 spots, while Lyons up 3 spots. So 3 drivers right here who have made some admirable progress in this race. By the way, we talked about Davis, who is in 11th right now. He is now back 6 spots since the start of this race. The only 2 worse in terms of spots lost from the drop of the initial green flag is Timothy Williams down 8 spots, and of course Chance Taylor down 19 and wrecked out of the race. So as this race continues to move on, you saw some sparks fly up ahead, some contact maybe. Lyons watching as these two start to duke it out behind him. It's Collins and it's Cunningham.
The Ghost Machine of Cunningham looking all over the back bumper of the number 81 of Jake Collins. As we ride on board here with Daniel Cunningham, trying to do everything he can. Looks like the 48 machine. Great looking car scheme. Lightning McQueen lookalike there of Lucas Lyons. Starting to make pole just a little bit as those two drivers have caught up. As we look here at the number 54 of JJ Moore here, trying to find himself into the top 5.
Good look at that Cruisin Classics logo, the primary title sponsor of this series. And that's not what you want to see as you're trying to make a move. Got a bit aero tight perhaps and got into the wall. Hard contact, but it does not seem to have affected his mechanical grip in that machine. As we storm into turn 1 for lap 22 of this race, these drivers in an all-out dogfight. Oh, again, car up into the wall. It looks like sparks flying. Not sure if that was the 54 machine or if it was Logan Sturgeon just in front. This is a battle for 5th.
As we look at that battle right there, we are almost a quarter of the way in. We've only had 3 caution laps so far, so right now we've got at least 20 laps of green flag racing on these tires. These drivers are going to start to come and go. We'll have to see who's been saving just a little bit. As you can see, the 26 there of Sturgeon just into the wall a little bit. JJ Moore's going to squeak by. The 26 always got the 23 machine of Ryan Pelton all over his back bumper.
Oh, man, that was a very much a heart in their mouths kind of moment right there with that potential incident. We keep on going in this battle. The 54 holding strong, JJ Moore. Logan Sturgeon down to the 6. He got very tight up against the wall. We'll see if that costs him some speed. It certainly has. A bit of a close down by Pendleton on Sturgeon, just a 10th back as they scream into turn 3.
Like you said, these right to his back bumper. Wow, wicked close race there down to the back, down the front stretch here. Looks like that position is going to be swapped as Pelton either gave it to him or maybe got into the wall a little bit there on the exit of 4. Looks like he got got the wall on the exit of 4 there. So one thing, these cars, they're slightly durable, but you don't want to hit those wheels. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look here to see exactly what happened when Sturgeon out of corner number 4 scrapes the wall, and going on is Ryan Pendleton. So Sturgeon starting to suffer a little bit, some wear definitely setting in for these drivers with these tires as this race continues to move on through its progressions. Now, I do wonder, and Jeremy, I'm going to bring you in on this one specifically, could we potentially see some pit strategy at play where there are 2 pit stops in this race? I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case, but as this run continues and these drivers try to get to lap 50, get to halfway to make it a one-stop race. I mean, they could pit right now and be good on fuel probably until the end of this race. However, the tires are going to suffer, so that is the optimal strategy going in around halfway, or could it be rolling the dice and making it a 2-stopper?
It's whatever drivers really want. That's why I'm in the broadcast booth. It's I don't have to make those calls, and these drivers are out here racing on this track. This track is like sandpaper on these tires. The tire degradation is tremendous. And these drivers, if they're not saving tires right now, they're going to pay for it on the end of the run. As Jason Taylor so far has been doing a great job of saving his tires and keeping himself in the lead. But like you said, you could do a couple of different strategies here. Mine personally, I'd be a one-stopper right in the middle. That way I kind of have an idea what's going on. But with those cautions early on, you know, maybe you wanted to do a little flip-flop here. But that's why I'm in the broadcast booth and let these drivers make those decisions.
Lyons alongside Pendleton, or I should say Sturgeon right here. These two drivers are going at it right here. You could fit in very little as Sturgeon hits the outside wall, still keeps his foot on the throttle, and then accelerates past the 48 Kachow machine of Lucas Lyons. I mean, these two are going at it. Again, side by side, coming out of 4. Sturgeon trying to hold strong, hold steady up top. They do go side by side across the stripe. Lyons loses momentum. He'll throw it deep into the corner. Do they touch? Yes, they definitely slam bodies right there. Great racing on lap 30 at Darlington.
This is what GoatLocker Racing is all about right here. Side by side here at Darlington. Lyons, Sturgeon, 7th and 8th, putting on one heck of a battle. We're only 30 laps in, and if we're already racing like this, I can't wait to see what we're going to have at lap 90.
My goodness, some awesome racing action here at this GoatLocker Racing event at Darlington Raceway. You're watching, by the way, on Maconi Entertainment. Appreciate you joining us here. Dylan Coyle alongside Jeremy Briggs, bringing you the action. Some sparks flying for J.J. Moore. He's going to lose some time and momentum. Pendleton is really climbing his way back up through the field, up 4 spots, started the race in position number 10. He's looking to break into the top 5. He's got so much more speed, it looks like. He rolls through the center much quicker. However, he had to take his foot off the throttle. He'll lose a lot of momentum on corner exit.
I tell you what, if you're watching here from Nasty's Bar and Grill, right now on this broadcast, you're seeing one heck of a race here by these drivers at Darlington. The final race of the regular season. These drivers are beating doors 30 laps into here at the Lady in Black of Darlington. As we look there at the number 36 machine, these drivers have got a long ways to go. Still we're a third of the way in. Let's see what these drivers got with a long ways to go.
Yeah, just awesome racing we've got here. 54 and more in the wall again, and right in behind is Pendleton, who stormed into him for a brief moment. Now Pendleton starts to run away from Moore. Gosh, that could have been absolutely nasty for all drivers involved there. J.J. Moore just could not seem to get away from the wall. It kept pulling him back in, just like a mobster movie. I thought I was out. They pulled me back in. I say mobster. It's mafia. You know what I mean? It's a Godfather.
Dylan, if we take a quick look here, man, we are really strung out here. We've almost got a car pretty much on every section of the track right now, about a half a straightaway left. As we got the leader checking into a little bit of lap traffic right here. There's a couple cars that are stragglers as we're pretty long into this run. I think we're about 30 laps, 32 laps into this run as these drivers are now, look at this, up against the wall.
Oh, man, that 51 is able to move around the 43. Dangerous happenings right there. Woo-wee. That could have been another caution in this race. We haven't talked much about the 51 as this race continues to move on through of Nekula. Nekula, for a brief moment in the beginning, we did mention how, another spark into the wall incident. We did mention how he was closing in. He was right there with Jason Taylor. However, he has lost that momentum. Taylor has started to stretch his legs just a little bit. George Jewell has not let Jesse Nekula get away very easily, and Nekula got a big tight mid-corner entry. He'll continue to struggle as this first stint of the race goes on. And don't look now, but Drabeck is also, as well as Pendleton, flying through this field, so they might be in business for a second and third place battle.
Drabeck is one of our former champions, and that is why it's very surprising to see him there on the bubble as these drivers. As we got
we're hearing a report that 23 has had a major problem. Oh man, flying through the field means nothing.
I believe there's contact with 37, because the 37 is now into the pits.
That
we'll see if we can catch that replay.
Well, Lanky right now is 9 laps down on the leader, so if it was indeed he that Ryan Pendleton got involved with, and that is a very curious moment. Was it the case of a driver making it a little bit too uncomfortable for themselves? No, well, we joined in a little bit late. The 23 seemed to turn around just momentarily. Oh no, don't tell me the 37. I mean, Jacob Lenke is 9, now 10 laps down. You cannot get involved in a battle like that. That is unfortunate right there for Ryan Pendleton.
Linky has taken it to the garage for the night as the 41 machine is dipping and diving through some lap traffic. We look at the number 50 machine there of Dorian Davis in 9th spot. They're trying to make his march back to the front. He fell back about 6 spots, making his march back to the front as we ride on here with the number 94 of Jesse Whittington. Also another driver providing an awesome onboard shot. Appreciate these drivers doing this for us tonight, as he's all over the back bumper trying to make the move on the number 50.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jesse Whittington has done a very solid job for himself in this race. Up 9 positions, more than anybody else in the field here tonight. Started in 18th, has fought his way up into the top 10, and he's looking to continue gaining spots and is definitely gaining on Cunningham at the moment. We rejoin this battle up in the top 5. JJ Moore being chased by Lucas Lyons, just a car length, maybe 2, separating them, and really good exit speed right there for Lucas Lyons. Does the 54 get tight? For sure. Goes down the block. I think the 54 just let him go. That is a weird looking moment there. I guess Moore said, I am no match for your speed. Take it.
Speaking of letting drivers go, we are almost to the halfway point of this race. These drivers are going to start thinking about strategy. We're a long ways into this green flag run. It's honestly got a slight green flag feel to it. Let's take a look at this race analysis throughout the night, the Maconi Setup Shop race analysis. Tonight's 100 laps, no fast repair, 3 tires in the pits with the set they got on. Fuel window, 70 to 74 laps. So these drivers have got about 30 more laps to go on fuel, but I don't think the tires are going to make it.
This is definitely a really good race at Darlington, even with only 23 drivers taking the green flag here tonight, as the 50 just threw it on in there to move up another position. Kendorian Davis starting to crawl back some spots. Maybe he was just trying to save tires for a run later in this race. We're looking back from that 23 machine. Big run by Jesse Whittington. Going to go down the inside, pack some air on that left rear quarter panel, has momentum, and the spot just throws it into the corner, right up against the wall. Left wheels on the bottom of that top seam, but he makes the move look easy and gives a little wipe to his nose right there. Job well done.
Jesse Whittington on the march as we look at the battle for second and third here. The number 51 of Jesse Nikula getting a little bit of pressure here from George Jewell. Jewell just slowly but surely been creeping into that back bumper. It looks like he's going to try and dive here into turn 4. Screen 3-4.
Side by side, Nekula has been in second place practically this entire green flag run, but now they're side by side, and Jewell tries to take that position away going into turn 1.
Just a little bit of wall contact there. Wow.
Yeah, that was into the wall right there, coming out of the corner, and that's why it is so difficult to make moves happen at this racetrack. If you cannot make it work when you've already committed, you've got to take your foot so far off that throttle, put the left foot on the brake pedal maybe, and then things just don't work out that same way. But Jewell, again, challenging, going into 1, the 51 much slower. Jewell takes the position away and back up to second place. It's where he started the race, and where he runs on lap 48, coming close to green flag pit stops.
So with the 23 and the 86 on pit road, Pendleton and Wilms on pit road. Pendleton was one of our drivers on the lead lap here.
Now remember, Pendleton was the driver that got involved with Jacob Lenke a few laps ago. Don't think he has any damage from that, but he did slide those tires a long way. Yes, there's no flat spotting in this simulator, but still, you gotta take care of that car when you can. He comes in at the end of lap 48. We'll see how this undercut helps him move back up through the field, as again, it looms for everyone. We are now about to hit that halfway mark of the race, but you also have to remember we only had one green flag lap in the first 6 laps of the race. So does that kind of play into drivers' wants and expectations? As George Jewell goes down pit road, do drivers decide, hey, this second stint, this second half of the race, it might be harder on our tires because there's more green flag laps? Do we stay out maybe until lap 52, lap 53? And then you have to ask, do those extra laps really mean too much of a difference?
As we saw Necula, Pendleton, George Jewell on pit road. As you can see, drivers Patrick Drabeck now on pit road as well, as we are now officially at the halfway mark. Looks like a lot of these drivers are thinking, we'll just take tires here and ride it out, as our leader now makes left-hand turn to come down pit road.
Leader down pit road as we speak, as Jason Taylor has done an admirable job extending that lead in this race. We'll see what this stop at the end of his 51st lap, how that works out. Pendleton, remember, was the first of the relative leaders to come down pit road. That was at the end of lap 48. So this is 3 laps later. We'll see how much faster, and I can actually give you a little bit of insight on that specifically. Last lap time for the 23, it was a 29.293. The last lap time for Lucas Lyons, still out there right now, it was a 38.61 and then a 38.29. He stays out on track. So these drivers, I mean, it's around a second and a half plus of fall off, and I mean, that's an extra 4 seconds from the undercut. Obviously, the end of the race, you start to suffer.
It's a wish-wash depending on where you come out in this strategy. It looks like a couple drivers trying to stay out a little bit longer, trying to see if they can keep some good in their tires longer in this later stage. Like you said, if you stay out longer, you lose a little bit of time right here, but you can try and gain some of that time back as long as traffic allows you to, as you saw at Vegas in real life, how that strategy can flip-flop, and it just barely worked out for Joey Logano. We'll see if it works out here in the sim as well tonight.
Racing is a lot about luck and getting the moments exactly right. Hindsight helps with that as the 48 slides. Whittington goes on by. Jesse Whittington takes the lead of this race on lap 55. He is still out on the same tires he started the race with. Remember, Whittington started in 18th position. He's up 17 spots in this race. And yes, while some of that, at least in the top 5, is coming down to pit strategy and where the pit cycle kind of lends its hand, Whittington has done a fantastic job just setting lap after lap, making moves happen in this race as more drivers, Daniel Cunningham in that Toyota Camry down pit road right now. To give you a little bit more insight, Whittington's last lap was a 30.489. Lyons was a half second slower, and that's been consistent. So a great job by Whittington of saving the tires for this moment exactly.
Whittington was just mowing through the field, as now Lyons gives the lead up to try to come down and get those fresh tires finally, as we're now at the 44 lap to go mark. Dressing Whittington, our leader, Dorian Davis, seems to be staying out as well. Jason Taylor, he was our leader. It looks like he's going to cycle back to our leader, but we'll have to see how close the number 51 is to him as we come around to complete the cycle.
Right now, Necula is under a second behind Jason Taylor. So that pit strategy did seem to help. 1 second separating first and second. It was about a 1 second gain before the pit cycle. George Jewell back into third, but 3/10 behind Nekula. So once again, we start to have this top 3 battle. Ryan Pendleton, by the way, he has made his way up to 6th. Obviously, he came in a few laps earlier than everybody else, but that's around a 4+ second gain with 3 laps fresher tires due to those old tires lasting a longer time. Can Dorian Davis down pit road? I do have to ask, Jesse Whittington staying out as long as he has been staying out. I mean, at some point, you've made your bed. Do you decide to just roll the dice and go the entire fuel run?
At this rate, that's what it looks like the Whittington machine is attempting to do. Nope, looks like the 94 has just come down pit road.
94.
Yep.
Yeah, now 94 is down pit road. A bit of a throwback look, that old 94 from Bill Elliott's 90s machine. It's a nice number to throw it back to. That Focus Fuel Camaro ZL1 in the pit gets put up on the jacks, and he'll get some fresh, good Sunoco fuel and 4 new Goodyear tires on that car. He'll have to make it last for just 40 laps as compared to 60 laps. Of course, some yellow flag laps were in that case as well. But he's going to be able to push it harder than he did in that first stint for a longer amount of time. It'll be interesting to see where Whittington kind of does end up if he's 15 to 20 seconds behind the leaders. I don't think that's a race-winning strategy. I do think he could definitely get up to 6th place by the time this thing is all said and done. We're looking at the leaders right now. Jason Taylor, Jesse Nekula, George Jewell, and, of course, Ryan Pendleton, all within 2.5 seconds and change of each other for the lead of this race, Jeremy.
As Jesse Whittington came out, looks like about a half a track behind the leader, 17 seconds. We'll have to see and keep an eye on that time to see if he can make it up. But as we look right there, the 48 almost had contact there. It looks like the 18 got into the wall. Blake Edel with contact off of 2. Very close there for Lucas Lyons, to not make that any worse, as this has been one heck of a green flag run for these drivers here at Darlington. This is a tough track to tame for a reason, and these drivers right now are taming the Lady in Black.
Well, it certainly is a track that's tough to tame, as you said, that insignia, that trademarked track too tough to tame. I mean, motto, it's a very true motto. It's a good name for this racetrack. It races differently to any racetrack, I think, in the entire world. There's not many egg-shaped tracks to begin with. You can look at something like Twin Ring Motegi, but you won't have it that looks and drives and feels exactly like this, especially with the history behind this racetrack and how epic the races do end up being here. As we're on board with Cunningham in the 91, continuing his track to move up forward. Logan Sturgeon just in front of him. Jesse Whittington to 11th place once that cycle has ended. 17.5 seconds back off the lead. We'll see if that changes as we move into the final third of this race. George Jewell in third. He's got some ground to make up to get back in a second.
Almost a half a second back to Pendleton there for George Jewell. Not sure where they are on pit strategy, but I'm sure obviously a lot of these drivers on different pit strategy. As we look back here at the Lucas Lyons machine, trying to make some headway back to the front. Looks like he's got the machine right there in front of him. Not sure if that's for a position. It might be. Yes, that is for 8th position there. He just passed the number 86 of Timothy Wilms as Lucas Lyons begins his march back to the front.
Wilms doing a solid job, or to be in 9th place as this race currently runs. He had an unfortunate first half of the race, but he certainly gained some spots here as we're on lap 66. It's officially back up to 2 seconds in the gap between Jason Taylor and Jesse Nekula. And I mean, they're starting to kind of just pile up in behind this top 5 battle. It really is ramping up. Drabic has definitely come back into the fold here, Jeremy.
Drabeck trying to conserve it here to the end, trying to make up a couple more spots Not sure where they are live in the Chase playoffs cutoff line there, but we'll take a look at this next week to see if Drabeck can finish and get his way in as we look on board with Patrick. Thank you so much for providing this onboard shot. Drabeck, one of the GoatLocker Racing admins that make all of this happen, and this is one of the great things that GoatLocker does is they do a lot of real life stuff for veterans and families.
Yeah, it's a really awesome thing what GoatLocker Racing typically does for veterans and for families associated with this series. You know, we've been so used to in recent races having a lot of caution periods to talk about the partners of GLR. We just haven't necessarily had all the opportunities to do that. We'll try and get through as much as we can before the race is over, but we'll give some shout outs right now. Of course, Cruisin Classics, one of the primary partners that GoatLocker Racing has, as Necula and Jewel go side by side, and Jewel takes the position away from Necula on lap 70. But going on, Cruisin Classics, of course, has been buying and selling cars for many years, located in Columbus, Ohio, and all of the best stocked collections in the U.S. are for sale, with unique automobiles under one roof in Columbus, Ohio. Something for everybody when you come to visit. And there is something for everyone watching this race right now, because it is offering up a treat as we're on lap 71. Taylor just distancing himself from everybody else, his biggest lead in the race, as Necula looks down the inside, couldn't find the grip, and he goes up to the wall. Jewel almost gets sucked up towards the wall. They are racing hard here for second.
Don't look much further behind them, but Darlington and Drabeck right there in the mix as well. We've got a 4-car battle for position number 2. Who is going to come out on top as JJ Moore is there in 6th. He's 12 seconds back, so 6 seconds back from Drabeck. So the position number 2 has got about 4 cars battling out, as Jason Taylor, who honestly we're not talking too much about him because he's kind of just keeping himself clean up here and in the lead. The 41 of Jason Taylor putting on an absolute clinic tonight. Cannot overshadow that. The 41 machine up front all night long so far.
Yeah, that 41 machine has really been putting in an epic performance here tonight. Is not the driver with the fastest lap of the race, though. That is Jesse Necula at 29.031. That is 300ths better, 31 thousandths better than Jason Taylor's fast time in the race. Necula's last lap, though, I'll say, was a 20 or a 30 flat. So he's definitely slowing down. The pace of this race has slowed down across the board, but Jason Taylor is still setting some solid lap times, 29.9s, as he has clean air in front of him, no traffic at the moment, and is battling with 0 drivers at the moment. Let's have an update on Jesse Whittington, who has now gained 10 spots in this race, was as high as first during his long pit run. Look at that smile. He knew he got the position there as Lucas Lyons got tight, went up against the wall, and gets the move done going into 3. Lyons took the high line on the entry into 3, but cannot get that car turned well enough. He'll lose a spot to Whittington, who now has to chase JJ Moore 2 seconds away on lap 75, coming to 76 to go. What an awesome cut right there by Marty up in the production booth. We saw that smile. He got the move done. He knew it was his position.
He knows right now every pass has to be made quick and efficiently to gain as many spots as he can, as he's still 13 and a half seconds back from our leader. Still a long ways to go to that lead. We've got 25 laps to go, and the number 94 machine has the best tires on the track. We'll see how many more positions he can get here tonight.
This race has just been a stunner for the final one of the regular season. You see Whittington lasted a lot longer on that initial set of tires, while Pendleton should be the one that is losing time, losing positions, and that is what he's doing. He's definitely losing time as Drabeck is still trying to get by him for fourth. This battle, though, that we're watching between the 81 and 91 machine for ninth, it is spirited. Collins cannot do much to hold on right here, but he is doing as much as he can, I should say. Cunningham is right there, has a huge run coming out of the corner. Collins gets tight, tries to get back onto the throttle. He did it in the nick of time, holds on to the position for now with 23 to go.
23 quick laps at this rate. There is no strategy that's going to work out to beat that number 41 machine of Jason Taylor. As we look at that 94, as you're right on board with the 54, that 94 just on the march with those fresher tires. Finds himself now 12.5 seconds back. He's gained 2 seconds, about a second on our leader as he makes this pass. We'll see if he can make up any more time.
Whittington has slowed, or Drabeck has slowed up entirely in this race. Or I should say Drabeck has slowed up entirely in this race. Whittington continues to chase down into the top 5. I said he would for sure get P6 when the time that things are all said and done. I mean, at this rate, I wouldn't even be shocked if he moves up into P4, maybe even threatening for a second place with his pace. He has to only go 40 laps on these tires, so he can push it a lot longer, a lot harder as this run continues to dwindle down to checkered flag time, Jeremy.
As Jesse Whittington made that stretch to try to have fresher tires to be pretty much on the offense this whole last run. That's pretty much how I would go about this. This track is so hard to tame. You want to be on the offense. You got to race the track and not the other drivers. But it's so hard to do when you're all on the same track at the same time. Right now, that 41 is taming this track as we look at this battle right there. 36, George Duell is in second. The 41 here of Jason Taylor, almost 5 seconds over the number 36 of George Duell, with Jesse Necula in our podium position there in third. Ryan Pendleton in fourth. Patrick Drabeck in fifth for now as the Whittington machine makes the charge.
Whittington is closing in, like you said, to Drabeck. He's now got a bit of clean track in front of him, although that 24 machine of Joe Hobbs, who has fresher tires, who is 4 laps down, will be able to potentially pass him here, not for an on-track spot, but just for running, or not for running position. I mean, look at that right there. A 9/10 of a second difference between Whittington and Drabeck just on the last lap alone. I mean, this is not even going to be close. The pass is going to happen maybe going into turn 1 right here.
This pass should be pretty easy for Whittington. He's got to make 2 passes right here. He's got 2 cars in front of him. Look at this drive with those fresh tires. He can just drive it in so deep.
That's a lap car right there.
Gonna get around that lap car. Yep, gonna kind of slightly be in the way. As it looks like Drabeck just escapes the wall right there. Whittington on the move.
It's not going to be too hard now. He might make the move coming out of turn 4. I mean, that's not even close. The 07, though, definitely pinched him down a bit right there. Whew. That was a little bit concerning. He got the move done going into turn 1, though, and he's going to start to blast away. Top 5 on speed, on pace for Whittington, and he is now getting after it when it comes to Pendleton. Curious what to see those lap times have been between Ryan and Jesse, because here's the thing. Pendleton has the oldest tires in the field, while Whittington has the freshest of all the leaders. Obviously, Pendleton was faster in that last lap because of the move being done, but I mean, it's kind of the same deal we saw from Drabeck. Half a second that last lap, but before that, it was a 9/10 of a second difference. Whittington is closing in quickly to Drabeck, but George Duell, currently running in second in this race, got by Jesse Necula. This has been a spirited battle all night.
A big story with that 94 is Jason Taylor in the 41. He's pretty much on his own island right now. No cars around him. Smooth sailing ahead. You can see as we take a look real quick at the 41 of the leader of Jason Taylor, putting on an absolute clinic here tonight. The 94 machine right now finds himself trying to get up and into fourth. He's gets into fourth there. Now 10 and a half, just about 10 seconds back. So he might find himself in the podium here with 12 laps to go.
Whittington up to P4. We're taking a look at what happened, how it happened right here. Pendleton going into turn one. I mean, it looked like he tried to do as much as he could. He scraped the wall, but Whittington made it look easy. Up to fourth right now. And I'll tell you what, he could make this move happen on Necula and Jewel and get into second place by the time this race ends. Would be a fantastic drive through the field, everything except the win. And I mean, it's a situation right here where if you're Necula, right? Necula comes into this race up 25 points over the cut line. He's pretty comfortable where he is, even if he doesn't hold third place. George Jewell, he's a driver that is currently not even shown on the top 14 list in the overall standings. He might be eligible still if he did happen to get a win or get the points. I'm just not quite sure. Jason Taylor is one of those drivers that with a win might be the same deal. He might be able to get in on that, minimum 7 race standard as well as a victory here. I mean, what a way to do it, just like Chase Briscoe in the Real World Cup Series.
10 laps to go in the final race of the regular season of the Cruisin Classics Wednesday. Next Gen racing here for the GoatLocker League. This has been some great racing here at Darlington. The Lincoln Tech teams, they have not had to use their techs at all tonight. They're having their hands to be pretty clean going home tonight as we're coming around with 9 laps to go. We'll have to see how it finishes out.
Perhaps the most terrified drivers in the field are Patrick Drabick and Bobby Germain. Germain 1 lap down, back in 16th, only up 2 points over the cut line. Tim Stubblefield 2 points below, but Stubblefield out of the race, 63 laps down and 22nd. That's not going to be a competition. Tyler Justice is 3 points down. He was not even in the conversation as well. Again, can't see anyone past 14th on the documents we've been given. But, as Whittington, by the way, look at this. He's back up to third. He's past Jesse Necula here. Look at the replay. Oh, easy enough, and Necula couldn't do much. Rode the wall through the entry of 1, but it's another spot for Whittington. Look at those lap times right there over George Jewell. Consistent half-second a lap almost with much fresher tires. We got to remember, Whittington has made a charge through the field, and yes, it probably won't result in a victory unless we have a late-stage caution here, but it should theoretically lead to a second-place finish with his pace. Let's look at what's going on back here. J.J. Moore trying to get by Patrick Drabick. And Drabick has it covered off on the outside. Goes into the outside wall, though. And Moore's got a run. Moore's got to be careful with Cunningham right in behind. And down the inside of Drabick. Does not make the move work. Maybe on corner exit. J.J. Moore has cleared. And now Cunningham goes by Drabick. 1-2 positions in one corner, side by side. Cunningham, Moore, a hard hit to the outside wall. They almost make contact again.
Wow. These drivers, Drabick in the wall, these drivers know if their season's on the line, they need to be in one more position to the good. These drivers right here are just trying to battle for position as Drabick, who's on that cut line for the playoffs, is going to lose a couple spots here. Hopefully it doesn't hurt him. We got 5 laps to go. Let's take a quick look at this replay. As you can see here, the 94 getting into second position I thought he was crazy staying out for as long as he did. He's proved me wrong. With 4 laps to go, he's still 7 seconds back. He might not find himself a winner tonight, but he's going to find himself in the podium position. What a great run here for the number 94.
He pretty much needs a yellow flag to come out, and then equal competition if they don't go into the pits, which that's a hard call. Only 12 drivers on the lead lap, but with track position being so key here at this racetrack, do you even think about coming into the pits? Whittington with fresher tires, though, than Jason Taylor. It could be something where Taylor knows what he's got going on. He knows the dangers here. So we will see as this race continues with just a few more laps to go. It's been a fun one to watch. Jason Taylor has just done everything right tonight. He does not have the best lap time of the race. That's pretty much the only thing he doesn't have. He got the pole, and he's 2 laps away from collecting the checkered.
2 laps away, like you said. I can't believe that Jesse Whittington went from half a track behind, going to close it down to under 6.5 seconds. What a great story out of the Jesse Whittington camp. But another great story is this number 41 car coming around to see the white flag this time.
Yeah, he's had a really fantastic race for him. Whittington might have the drive of the day, but no one can take away the fact that Jason Taylor has been the driver to beat all night long. I mean, it could potentially, we'll have to go back over the facts, but this could be a race that locks him into the playoffs. He does not have a win this season, so if he does have that minimum race requirement settled, this would put him into the playoffs and potentially take Jermaine out of it. Coming out of turn 4, Taylor, all laps on track. He has led easily. He wins it here at Darlington and may have punched his ticket to the playoffs.
What an absolute dominant performance out of that number 41 of Jason Taylor here tonight on Maconi Entertainment, the GoatLocker Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series.
We're going to be right back as Taylor begins to burn it down once he comes around to the front straight. Once again, Jason Taylor, the winner. You're watching Maconi Entertainment. Now that I didn't even think about that.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Jason Taylor wins it here at Darlington Raceway in the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series for GoatLocker Racing. Just an awesome job. By the way, the iRacing Black Friday sale, it's going on now through December 2nd. It's the biggest sale of the year. 25% off 1 or 2 year subscriptions for returning users or ones who need to renew, and new users are 50% off. My subscription ends tomorrow, so I got to take care of that. And thankfully, Black Friday saves me money. It can save you money as well, and you can get involved in all the racing action and maybe join GoatLocker Racing. But it's been a good show here tonight. And Jason Taylor, of course, is the winner. Let's look at the results. Taylor Whittington, what a drive. And George Jewell, your podium finishers. We'll talk to all three of them. Jesse Necula, Ryan Pendleton are your top 5. Daniel Cunningham, JJ Moore, Patrick Drabick, Kendorian Davis, and Lucas Lyons, your top 10. James Goshen and Blake Edel, the only other drivers who finished on the lead lap, down to 12th. Jake Collins, Timothy Williams, James Kaufman, and Bobby Germain finish 1 lap down. Joe Hobbs finishes 4 laps down. Zach Engel, 11 laps down in 18th, while Logan Sturgeon, a rough end to his race, 33 laps down. Sam Milliken in 20th. Jacob Lenke, Tim Stubblefield, Chance Taylor, and Doug Ellingson, who did not take the green, in 24th. Well, it is now time to talk to our race winner, and that would be Jason Taylor. Jason, what a run. It seemed like a walk in the park for you.
No, sir, it was not. Bit sick. It's kind of a Jordan flu game type performance. I'm pretty sure the right side of my car says Boeing right now.
I feel like you're not the only one with the side of the car saying Boeing from that backstretch. But it was a fantastic race for you. You got that first win of the season. And actually, we don't have the numbers in front of us, but have you hit that minimum race requirement to be eligible for the playoffs?
Yes, sir. Yes, I've raced every race.
Well, you have made it into the show with a walk-off victory. Jason Taylor, give yourself a round of applause. Does this give you some momentum going into the round of 12?
Yeah, I like the schedule in the round of 12. I think Vegas is a very strong track for me. If I'm not mistaken, that's our championship race.
It is.
So if I make it there, I think I have a really good shot. It's one of my best tracks, and I race that track very well. Today, man, let me tell you, everybody races Darlington so wrong. They call her the lady in black, but you can't be nasty to her. You gotta be gentle with her.
Or she will attack you. That's pretty much what we saw
Absolutely.
from some drivers in
Absolutely.
this race. But Jason, I'm going to give you the floor. Thank you want to thank, and hopefully we talk to you a few more times before the season ends.
First, I want to thank my boys back at the Black Flag Motorsports shop, Bobby Anderson, Sean O'Brien, and Dylan Kritz. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing this thing week in, week out, just finding leagues and racing in them. So I appreciate their support. You guys for putting on the show. It is absolutely awesome. You guys do a great job. I always love watching the broadcast back. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to watch some other series in which you guys are going to be broadcasting next season that I know about. It's going to be really fun. Thank the admins here, every single one of them. Patrick and on down. They're honest competitors, and I appreciate that about them. And the sponsors of this league are absolutely amazing. Having us I'm so emotional right now. That's so awesome, man. This must be how Jordan felt after that flu game, dude. I tell you.
Oh man, well, hey, Michael Jordan's team, of course, might win its first Cup Series trophy.
Boy,
You're
I
looking to do
dominated.
Oh, we
Holy
love
shit,
that.
that was crazy. Oh, that was so good, man.
Oh, well, congratulations on the victory and welcome to the playoffs, Jason.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
All right, you take care.
Thank you.
Well, Jason Taylor, very excited for that victory. And before we do give it across to Jeremy for P2, because that is a win that gets him into the playoffs, we're going to wait for confirmation. But I believe, based on the finishing positions, that Bobby Germain is on the outside looking in. That pushes him below the cut line. Patrick Drabick, with that 8th place finish, that should be more than enough to certify his spot as the last driver in the playoffs. But again, that's just speculation right now. Jeremy, you are going to talk to the Jesse Whittington number 94 driver, Jesse Whittington.
As we grab the Jesse
What?
Whittington machine here. Wow, Jesse Whittington. What a performance tonight, man. I thought you were crazy. You proved me absolutely wrong, man. Walk us through that crazy move to just think of that strategy to just make it happen, because you looked really good at the beginning too with no, I don't know if you had fresher tires or just did a really good job of saving tires, but you were pretty much lights out tonight even though you didn't make it to the actual front.
Oh man, I'll be completely honest with you. I was really frustrated at first because I barely scraped the wall coming off of turn 2, and on my second qualifying lap, so I started like 18th, I think it was, and then like 4 laps into our first green flag, or the main green flag run, I had somebody get loose right above me, and I fell from like 12th all the way to 22nd. And I was just like, I'm just going to sit back, save tires, and shoot, it ended up working out really well. And I was like, the only way that there's one of two things that could happen here. I'm either going to catch a caution at the right time and be able to, play the track position game, or I'm just going to have fresher tires for the end of the race. And hey, it ended up working out. I'm really disappointed because I feel like if I would have had some track position, I could have had something for Jason Taylor. But really good race by him. Just outclassed everybody at the Lady in Black, and I'm just glad to be able to make up that much ground and have some fun along the way. And I hope I gave y'all a little bit of a show.
Oh, you absolutely did, Jesse. And thank you so much, too, for giving us onboard shots with webcam. It was great to watch the smile on your face when you're out there making those passes, man. Who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight?
Oh, man. Way too many people. First and foremost, I got to thank my family. My wife, my kids, they always support me coming out here and doing my thing, having some fun. And never hear any complaints, and my daughter always asks me how I do whenever I go inside. Of course, I got to give a big shout out to Focus Fuel and Bert's Beat, who set me up with them. Thank you, Bert, and thank you, Focus Fuel, for all the support over the last little bit. Le Cham Brewery in Denham Springs, Louisiana. Good little, fun little place, local place to go get you some brewskis. Of course, my good friend Luke Haley Music, my team Full Lock Racing, and of course the league, the sponsors that they have over here, what they stand for, and everything that they're doing right now, and just trying to give veterans their place. And I can't thank them enough for giving me the opportunity to come here and run. And, of course, thanks to you guys for putting on the show. I can't wait to go back and watch this one, so it should be a fun one.
Well, we did a lot of covering of you, Jesse, because you definitely had quite the strategy. Hopefully you had a good night. You came up one lap, you came up one position short, but a good way to end the regular season. Hopefully we'll see you soon in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great rest of your night.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that was Jesse Whittington, your second place finisher. We got one more driver to grab here. It's going to be our third place finisher here tonight, who definitely was battling out there up at the front with Jesse Necchio all night, the number 36 of George Struhl. Welcome to the broadcast, George. Walk us through your night, man. That was a great race.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Got a pretty good qualifying position, and everything just seemed to work out tonight. I like driving this track. I'm not the fastest at it, but if you can stay consistent, you normally can get a good finish. And if you stay off the wall, me and Jesse were battling quite a bit. It was a good time and everything. I knew I could get them later on runs because I wasn't using up my tires, but just trying to figure out how to get around them was the next challenge. So just kind of waiting for a little bit of a mistake where I could capitalize and not run each other over, and keep going from there.
Man, GoatLocker Racing always produces great racing. Man, you guys only had one caution tonight in this 100-lap race here at Darlington. That shows how great a lot of these drivers really are. What was it like getting this long green race?
Well, I'm tired, but it was fun. It was fun. These guys always run great races. We every now and then we get into a track that we kind of all struggle at and just want to run each other over for something to do sometimes, I guess. But to do this at Darlington, only one caution that happened early and long green flag runs. I like the long green flag runs because I manage my tires better than what I do when I start out on them. I'm not the go after it with the fresh tires. I'm normally like 2, 3 laps. Then I start feeling tires come in and I feel a little better and more comfortable to try to make moves.
Well, your strategy and your driving style worked out tonight to get you here on the podium in the 3rd place position. George, who are you going to thank for getting you here tonight?
My family, I appreciate it. Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, and all my teammates. I appreciate the help you guys all give me. GoatLocker, of course, and all the administrators and the owners that keep this stuff kicking and moving along. Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, Alexander PC, Jam Printing and Promotions, of course, Nasty's out there. Cruisin Classics for being the sponsor of this division. I appreciate it. Lincoln Tech and Hidden Wit Brewery. I appreciate everybody that that puts into this, and I know they all do too. And I hope to keep racing with these guys for as long as they'll put up with me. And I appreciate you guys up in the booth too. I really appreciate you guys doing what you do.
Absolutely, George. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. We appreciate you giving us a cam so we can get a live in-car action there, real life stuff. So it's a pleasure to have you. Hopefully we'll see you here in the playoffs for one of these races and get a podium finish. And George, you have a great night.
You too, and you guys be safe.
Yes, sir. You as well. That was George Jewell, our podium 3rd place finisher to round us out there. Dylan, what a race, man. So much green flag racing. That just was awesome.
Yeah, that was absolutely fun to watch. We've got so many exciting races still to come. 5 races remain before we're able to crown the champion. And again, hello, welcome back to our wonderful faces. Not as cool. We don't have the steering wheels. We're not as focused.
Yeah.
But there are 12 drivers, right? And in 2 races time, we're going to dwindle it down to 8. 2 races after that, we're going to get the championship for. We're going to fight it out, duke it out in December, on December 18th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for that championship in the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. So lots of exciting times to come in this series, in this league. And we have seen a lot of different drivers put in some dominant performances, a lot of parity in the series in the regular season. That excites me for what we're about to see.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of drivers these last probably 5 races that have really come on and put their name in the hat for this championship. Obviously, Cody McIlwain wasn't here tonight, one of the drivers that we see usually do a lot of dominating the performance, but obviously tonight was Jason Taylor's night, and great racing by this league, and got to thank all the sponsor support, and can't wait to see what we got going on when we get to the playoffs.
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in to Maconi Entertainment to watch the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Once again, want to thank Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment. That's what you were watching this on. Cruisin Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar. Raise a drink for me, everybody. Lincoln Tech, Jam Printing and Promotions with the Jam Pull Award, and everyone watching at home. This has been a Maconi Entertainment presentation of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series from GoatLocker Racing, and it was a fun one here tonight. My name is Dylan Coyle. Jeremy Briggs was alongside me, and you have been treated to a fantastic race at Darlington. Until next time, good night and good racing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel.